Hello, everybody. You're very welcome to this presentation on eTwinning. My name is John Tate, and I am the eTwinning officer in Leargas. So today I'm going to talk you through eTwinning and what it is and how it might be of benefit for you as language teachers. So through this presentation, we'll be giving you a general overview about eTwinning. We'll be looking at eTwinning Live, which is where you can interact with potential partners and teachers across Europe. We'll be looking at the TwinSpace, which is a special part of the platform that you open when you create a project and work on it with a partner. And you'll also have a presentation from Victoria Malcolm, who is a German teacher and an eTwinning ambassador. And she will be taking you through the program from the perspective of a language teacher. So what is eTwinning? eTwinning is a free online platform that links a community of more than 800,000 teachers across Europe, and it supports primary and post-primary teachers to find partners and work on joint projects in any curricular area using ICT. So the three main functions of the platform are: it's a dedicated website where teachers can create a profile, search for partners, and browse ongoing and completed projects, and develop your own project ideas. As I said before, once you register a project, you have access to a TwinSpace, which is a private and secure online workspace where you and your partners can administer your project. And students can also be invited to participate in the TwinSpace as members. I'll be taking you through an example TwinSpace and showing you some of the functions on that later on. It also facilitates online and face-to-face learning opportunities for teachers to enhance their skills, competencies, and pedagogical approaches. So the benefits of eTwinning: it's simple to register, so there's no paperwork. It's a very simple registration on the website, and I'll briefly show you that later. So you and your students can develop digital literacy and ICT skills in a secure environment. So it's a really important aspect of eTwinning, that it's a secure platform. It's a private platform. The only people who will have access to your TwinSpace are yourself, your partners, and anybody else who you choose to make members of the TwinSpace. So example, students, and you can also make other colleagues and maybe parents guests of the TwinSpace as well, but it's totally up to you who has access. It's cross-curricular, so obviously being German teachers, language will be a big part of your work, but you can also team up with other teachers in your school, because the project may have other aspects to it, may have cultural aspects to it, heritage, history. So you can team up with other members of the staff to deliver the project. So your students can learn about European cultures and languages by directly linking with their peers. So the eTwinning platform has facilities where they can engage directly with their partners, with their peers across Europe, and work together in the TwinSpace. There's also recognition for your projects and your school through eTwinning awards. So we have a national quality label, which we as an NSS. So in Leargas, we're the national support service for eTwinning, and we award the national quality labels. There's European quality labels, and there's eTwinning schools labels, which recognize a whole school approach to eTwinning. But it also complements further European engagement through Erasmus Plus as well. So eTwinning can be used as a standalone activity where you can have your classroom-based projects, but you can also integrate eTwinning into Erasmus Plus projects. So if you're doing mobility projects or KA1 or KA2 projects, you can use eTwinning in tandem with those Erasmus activities. So the portal. So I'm going to take you through the portal, and we'll have a look at some of the features on the portal. So we click here. This will bring us to the landing page of the portal. So from here, you can, so this is what, even before you register, you'll be able to have access to this. So anybody, this is a public part of the forum, of the platform. So what might interest you, if you click on the interactive map here and click on Germany, You can see all the teachers that are registered in Germany and how many schools and how many projects they have. So there's a huge potential for collaboration with some German partners here. And if you just were to scroll down, you can see that's the contact details for my colleague in Germany, who is the NSS in Germany, Ellen. And there's also some projects there that you could click on, so you get examples of some of the projects that have been done by German schools and German partners. You can also click on each region, and that can bring you into more kind of details of some of the schools that are there. But if you register on the platform, and if you were to register, you would just click here. I'm already logged in, but you would click here and you would be sent to a registration page, and you can just fill that out. But when you do register, you open up what's called eTwinning Live. So this is where you can interact and find partners on the platform. So you can personalize it with a picture of yourself there, and this is like a news feed. So when you do have people that you make contact with, you'll see their activity popping up in the news feed there. You can search for people. So if you're looking for potential partners, you can do an extended search by role. So you select teacher, subject for yourselves. You would have foreign languages, and select Deutsch. And you know, obviously, if you want to get even more detailed, you can go age range, country. So you can find, do a real detail search and find good potential partners for yourself. You can also join groups. So there are specific teamed groups on the platform where you can link with other teachers and you can share your practice, ask for advice. There's a really good starter group called Virgilio. I'd recommend that you might start there. And but you can also do, again, an extended search, so subject and language, and just from doing a little search earlier, there were groups for German teachers, specific groups for teachers of German that you can partner with there and you can join. If you're looking for people to do projects with, there's a partner forum section, and you can click on specific areas where you can look for partners for example, eTwinning projects from 12 to 15 or 16 to 19, depending on who you're teaching. So when you do hopefully find a partner and you create a project, you will then open up what's called a twin space. And in the twin space, this is a private platform where you and your partners, so your teacher partners, can interact and collaborate, and also your students can interact and collaborate. So this is like a journal section of it, and you can post videos and images and messages for each other on this. There's shortcuts to some of the other features here, but there's also a teacher-to-teacher bulletin. So you can post bulletins to each other, to your partner teachers, which only you'll be able to see, none of the students will be able to see. The pages section, so this is where the kind of main body of the workshop can live, and you can have an overview of the project here. You can post in your schedule, so you can create kind of Word documents that you can embed into the twin space. You can also have links directly to documents that will download directly onto the computers of your partners. And then you can have different sections where you might map out your different activities for your project. So click on the different pages there, you can have different content. You can also embed different apps. So if you're using like a Mentimeter or Quizlet or any kind of IT apps, you can embed them directly into the twin space. So you can also embed some videos in here and some different kinds of apps. So here's a Padlet. So this is a popular app that you can embed directly in there, and you can interact with that with your partners. There's also an eTwinning version of it, similar to Padlet, but it's called a Twin Board, and you can interact with that, and you can interact videos there, and people can communicate through that and post comments. You can also embed your evaluation. So like any good project, you'll have your different stages. You'll have your activities, your overview, your schedule, and your evaluations in there. So you can embed your survey monkeys in there, which can directly link to the site, and people can fill them in through the TwinSpace. Again, keeping it all within the safe space. And then if you're creating some work, you might create, so this is like an ebook that you could embed in there. So as part of your activities were to create a book, like a language book, you can embed that in there, and it'll live in the TwinSpace, and you can interact with like so. And also as well, you can have like sections for your dissemination of your project. So really, the TwinSpace serves as a record of all the work that you do on the project. Other sections here are the material section, where all your images can live, and you can then link them directly into your pages. There's also forums where you can create discussions, where your students can interact together and post comments to each other, and discuss whatever the subjects area that you're working on. There's also online meetings, so you can have a chat room. So there's chat-to-chat feature here, and this is all very safe as well. So the teachers have access to all the chats. So if your students are interacting, you can download the chats. You can also there's an inbuilt video meeting. It's a version of Adobe Connect, which you can interact with on the TwinSpace. Or if you use something else like a Zoom, you can then embed your videos into pages if you want to keep using the platforms that you're used to. There's a member section where you can upload all the details of and make members for your students and for your partners, and you have details there, and you can invite them. As I said before, you can have students, teachers, and guests who you might kind of invite to have a look at the work that you're doing. What I'd like to show you now is within one of the pages here, we have a video, and it's a video of an MFL teacher, and he's an eTwinning ambassador. These are some of his French students, and they're going to talk to you about using eTwinning.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sean, j'habite à Piltown.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Niamh, j'habite à Kilkenny.
eTwinning is basically the connection of schools throughout Europe for the use of ICT, so information and communication technologies. So it means that from a teacher's perspective, it's a fantastic opportunity to learn from different teachers, share best practice and collaborate. And I mean, it's great for students as well, because they're collaborating with other students their own age. And I mean, you can't beat anything like that. For me, I wanted something different, and especially with the Modern Foreign Languages specification at Junior Cycle, it allows more creativity. So with this specification at Junior Cycle, there are 3 strands, and the 3rd strand particularly applies to because it involves getting to know cultures. What more of a perfect opportunity than to use the eTwinning platform for that? A word or phrase that would describe the impact of eTwinning on my class is engagement. Because we have this level of creativity when we're deciding what project we're going to do, I mean, it appeals to the students' interests. So as a result, students enjoy doing eTwinning. Students enjoy doing it in class. And another byproduct of that is that their linguistic skills are improving.
Commer College is an equal and inclusive education provision in town. We like to offer the students every opportunity that's going to build on their career prospects for the future. Modern foreign language is the key area that we have been looking at over the last number of years. So eTwinning was just another opportunity for us to build on what we've already had brought into the school system. We live in a world where people travel. We want the students to have the experience of other languages and what those cultures involve from our own school here. I think sometimes when you're teaching a subject outside of a context, you don't have that reality in it. When you can see another school, another community, it makes it very real. For the students, they like the interactions with other countries, with other students, and the conversations over and back. They just bring another added dimension into the classroom.
From this group here, est-ce que vous avez fini? Are you finished? Oui ou non?
I like that we communicate with other students from other countries in other schools and do projects with them.
I think it's good because you can meet new people and you get to learn new things in French. The eTwinning project is really fun.
That we put this on to...
What I like about the eTwinning project is that we talk to people our age and they respond to us in English and respond to them in French. Yeah, I think it's really fun. We get to learn new things.
I would recommend eTwinning because it works. I've seen it work. My students now enjoy learning a language because they use eTwinning.
Thank you very much for your attention today. This is just some of our contact details. So if you need any advice or support, we're here. That's part of our service. We're a national support service for eTwinning in Ireland. There's a direct email address there for me and a general eTwinning one, and our Twitter handle as well. So do follow us there. Right now, I'd like to hand you over to Vicky Malcolm. And she is going to talk to you about eTwinning from the perspective of a German teacher. So I hope you enjoy that. But thank you very much.
Hallo zusammen, ich heiße Vicky Malcolm und ich bin Deutsch- und Französischlehrerin hier in der King's Hospital School in Palmerstown in Dublin. Und ihr seid herzlich willkommen bei mir im Klassenzimmer. I'm joining you today to talk to you about an eTwinning journey. So a journey that we took in the last school year with my TY German class, and the project that we ran was called Auf gut Deutsch gesagt. I ran that project with a school, the British school in the Netherlands, in The Hague, and we had such a fantastic time doing this project that I really wanted to share it with you today. We were complete beginners to eTwinning when we started the project. I had heard of eTwinning, I had been involved in a project, but the project didn't get finished, and this year I was determined to run a project because I had already seen the benefits that it brought to my students. So I was looking for something that would incorporate what was in the curriculum for TY in a bit more of an interesting way and bring the message home, I suppose, to the students that we're learning German to be able to communicate with other people, and this project really did that for us. I'm going to start by talking to you about eTwinning kits. So you might already have an idea for a project, but if you don't, there are absolutely loads of eTwinning kits out there to help you. What is a project kit? Well, really it is just a step-by-step guide as to how you're going to run that project. So you can see, if I go down here, that it walks you through the steps of the project. It tells you how you might go about introducing the partner schools to one another, which direction you might take your project in, how you would encourage communication, how you would promote collaboration. And the important thing with all of these parts is that you get great tips from the eTwinning project kit as to which digital platforms you might use to do all of these steps, and you will be recommended things that you might never have used before. So it's a real eye-opener, and nothing is difficult, and you learn so much by doing it. Then it walks you through how to evaluate and how to assess your project. I'm going to give you just a quick example, and it's actually the eTwinning kit that I'm going to show you is the one that we did our project on. So it is this one here, Easy eTwinning for Beginners, and it absolutely does what it says on the tin. So this is the kit. You can see the age group that it's aimed at. You can look at your key competencies. So for me, it was languages and digital. The subject areas then again for me, foreign languages and ICT. I'm not an ICT expert by no means, but believe me, you will learn so much by doing this. I'll show you what the kit looks like. So it comes as a PDF, you download it, and hopefully you can see that. That is the kit there. It walks you through the objectives of the project. It tells you how you might go about introducing your students, and walks you through the rest of the project and the tools that you might use to get to the end of your project. What I'm going to show you is based on this bit here, introduction of the partners. So I'm actually going to show you now our twin space. So these are my twin spaces. These are the projects that I have been working on or that are closed now, are finished. And this is the current project that I am working on, which is called Kommt zu Besuch, that we're doing for the EDL competition this year. Last year's project, and the one I'm talking to you about today, is this one, is Auf gut Deutsch gesagt. We entered this competition, this project for the competition, the EDL competition. So this is the twin space. If you have run a project before, you know what the twin space looks like. Briefly, you have a homepage where you communicate with the other teachers. In this case, this is my colleague Sandra that you can see just on the screen here. And then you have an area where students can communicate. So you can set your students up and you can open a discussion page where they can type messages to one another, just like an email platform essentially. Obviously the main advantage of the twin space is the security. It is completely secure, so your students can chat away in the chat rooms here. If you go into online meetings, you'll see they have a function here to enter an online chat room. So if you happen to have lessons coinciding, they can chat away with one another. It's fantastic. So I'm going to talk you through a few of the activities that we did. These are the main activities. So we started with introductions, which you saw on the project page. And here we are with our Padlets. We used Padlet for introduction, super easy. This is the Padlet from my partner school in the Netherlands. And the students all wrote something on their Padlet page. And we went in, then you can see at the bottom here, we have gone in and we have commented on that. And they did the same for us. What I will also show you is an example of, I suppose, using technology. We tried to incorporate lots of different ways of using technology. So what we did was we made videos about the school. So you can see here, unsere Schule. And if I click on here, you can see the King's Hospital's video.
Lassen Sie uns zuerst von unserem Sportcommittee hören.
Hallo, my name is Aaron und willkommen zu AS Sports.
Und ich bin Suleiman. Heute sprechen wir über Sport in der Schule.
Man kann hier viele Sport treiben. Es gibt Rugby, Fußball, Federball, Hockey, Tennis, Cricket und Rudern.
Ja, ich finde das toll. Ich spiele Fußball jeden Tag in der Mittagspause.
Ja, ich liebe es, Fußball zu spielen am Mittagspause. Mein Lieblingsspieler ist Kinder. Was ist dein Lieblingsspieler?
Mein Lieblingsspieler ist Alexander Lacazette. Er ist sehr gut.
Gibt es viele Spielfelder in unserer Schule?
Ja, gibt es 70 morgen in unserer Schule. Ich spiele Fußball auf dem Spielplatz und spiele ich Basketball auf dem Platz.
Ich spiele Fußball auf dem Spielfeld. Ich spiele Basketball auf dem Platz. Rugby spiele ich auch.
Hi, mein Name ist Ibrahim. Hier ist die Kirche. Jeden Morgen wir gehen in die Kirche.
Hier ist die Wilson-Reithalle. Das ist unser Theater- und Lernhalle.
Hier ist die Bibliothek. Es gibt viele Bücher, viele auf Deutsch. Es ist ruhig. Und ich mache hier meine Hausaufgaben.
So there you go. That is Ibrahim and Declan enjoying themselves with their video there. It was massive fun. So the way we worked on that is that the students, they wrote a script. They decided who they were working with, so it was partner work or group work. They wrote their script and then they filmed everything themselves. I had two students who were particularly interested in film, so they filmed that all themselves. They edited it all themselves. I had really nothing to do except upload it to the Twin Space. And then the other school watched it in their German class and they sent us some questions because they were interested in our school day and our school routine as compared to theirs. And we did the same. So you can see here the British school in the Netherlands, they made a video as well. that really got the students interested, really brought home a topic that they have been doing all the way through the junior cycle, but looked at in a slightly different way. I want to show you then, I suppose, our final activity here. This was done, I should say, during lockdown. So it was intended that we would work on this collaboratively. This is our big collaborative project with the school in the Netherlands, and I will just, I suppose, talk you through what it is that we were supposed to be doing. So the students were given a brief. The project was called Eine Reise nach, and this was their brief. So they had a budget of €1,000, and they had to plan a city break, a weekend break in a German-speaking city. And it was up to them entirely where they wanted to go. They had to look at specific areas, so we directed them towards the weather and accommodation and sightseeing, etc. And then they had to put together a PowerPoint presentation based on that. So they worked, I suppose, because we were in lockdown, they had to work a little bit more creatively. So they were texting each other, they had swapped emails, and they had swapped Snapchats, and they were working outside of the twin space, but that was, I suppose, dictated by the situation at the time. We gave the students this resource, which I'm sharing with you now. This is fantastic. So if you want to look it up, it's on languagesinitiative.ie, and it's the Post-Primary Languages Initiative, and they have this resource for the web quest in German, in French, Italian, and in Spanish, I think. And what it is really essentially is just a list of websites that students can use to put together a project. So for this kind of project where they had to plan a city break, it was perfect. You've got exploring and discovering, you have the weather, for example, you have sites and places to go, transport, airlines, everything on there. So that was absolutely fantastic, and they really enjoyed the research on that. Once they had the research done, they had to do a PowerPoint presentation. So this is one of the presentations, just to give you an idea of what the students worked on. They worked on this collaboratively, so it's a PowerPoint presentation, and two of my students, Aaron and Ibrahim, and also Hugo and Jonas, who are Sandra students. And you can see then, I just give you an idea, I suppose, of what they had. So they looked at flights, and they looked at the weather, they looked at accommodation, they looked at the tourist attractions, etc. And at the end, they put together how much they had spent out of their budget. And as you'll hear now shortly, they had to then present the PowerPoint presentation for us. So what we had then was the same PowerPoint that you've just been looking at, but this time we were presenting via Zoom. So you can see me twice, which is lovely. There you are in my sitting room. And this is Sandra, my colleague in the British School in the Netherlands. So I'll just give you a little, I suppose, a little flavor of the presentation and what it sounded like on Zoom.
Okay, Reise nach Berlin. Jetzt muss ich nur... So, die Flüge. Bitteschön.
Der Flug verlässt den Flughafen Amsterdam-Schiphol am 7. Mai 2020 um 18:40 Uhr. Der Flug dauert 1 Stunde und 15 Minuten und wir kommen um 19:55 Uhr am Flughafen Berlin-Tegel an. Der Flug ist Economy. Um zurückzukehren, nehmen wir den Flug am Sonntag um 20:10 Uhr. Wir werden um 21:35 Uhr am Flughafen Amsterdam-Schiphol ankommen.
So that's just a little taster of that. It went on for about 5 minutes, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, these are TY students who are speaking for 5 minutes in German and have put together this amazing PowerPoint presentation. It was really fabulous. I suppose lastly then, I just wanted to talk a little bit about where we might go in the future with our project. So we are actually working with the same school in the Netherlands because we had such a great experience and we're very like-minded, myself and Sandra. So we're doing another project this year. It's going to roughly follow these lines, but we have a few different activities for the students to do this time. And obviously we are fingers crossed that we won't have to do any of it in lockdown. So It was a fantastic project. The students got so much out of it. We were really, really lucky. We won a quality label in Ireland. We won a quality label in the Netherlands. This is one of the projects which won a European Day of Languages award, and it also won a European language label. So richly deserved by my students, I have to say, but they really just had fun, and that's my overriding message. Now, it can seem like this is a lot of work. It absolutely isn't. It's just doing what you're doing anyway, teaching what you're teaching anyway, but just doing it in a slightly different way that they get great fun out of. So it's been my pleasure joining you today, and I would absolutely welcome any queries. My email address is up on the screen at the moment, so please do contact me. I would love to hear from you, and thank you very much for listening.